Verse 1, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your minds. Verse 4, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Now, life happens, and we have to navigate through all of this. Now, this is why some of us have a hard time trying to make it through all of what I call the vicissitudes of life. I love that word. Anyway, when we go through all those issues and we're trying to live for Christ, this is what ends up happening. We end up hesitating. We wade in there with the Lord for a minute, then we back out and we give in to the flesh. Then we wade in a little further and we back out and we give in to the flesh, right? Now, picture, it's a hot, hot summer day. One of my analogies. It's a hot, hot summer day. It's too hot for comfort. And here you have a nice, beautiful swimming pool sitting in front of you. It's been sitting in the sun, so you know the water's not cold. But you're hot. And you want to cool off, so you tip into the water. And you ease your feet and your legs, and whoo, you're feeling kind of chilly, right? Picture this. And as you're inching in, it feels so cold, and it might only be lukewarm. But in comparison to what you are leaving behind, the heat, it's uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable. It's almost intolerable. Let me back up and sit on the edge of the pool. So you sit on the edge, but you don't really get in. Whew. So here you are, somebody else comes by, and they want to get used to the water because they really want to swim. They want to enjoy the water, hook, line, and sinker. So they get around the edge, and instead of tipping in, they just lower their bodies and submerge completely and get it over with, get the shock over with. Now it's over with. They're starting to get acclimated. It takes them a minute or so. And next thing you know, they're swimming. And guess what happens? To them, the water starts to feel lukewarm and comfortable, or even warm, because they've acclimated to the temperature change. You haven't acclimated, you're still sitting on the edge. Why? Because you haven't committed to getting all the way in. That's what a lot of us do with the Lord, with the ways of God. We are so used to what's behind us. We are so used to where we've been. We are so used to our flesh and the way we handle stuff that it's difficult to let that go and submerge into the ways of God. Because when you submerge, it hurts. Let me tell you, that hurts. It's very hard, very difficult. It's challenging. It's inconvenient and annoying many times. Why? Because we are, in essence, dying to ourselves. And we don't like that. We don't like it. Now, it's the same thing when I was at Jack LaLanne's. And this is why we have to know how things benefit us. The things of God have nothing but benefits. The things of the flesh, the devil, all of that sin, no, it's just destructive at the end. But and through. But when this was another example God gave me. When I was at Jack LaLanne's, I'd do the sit-ups and I'd work up a good sweat and then get on the treadmill. Woo. Okay. And then, now this is after I swam several laps in the pool. Then I get out, and change and everything and do my exercise. I mean, not change. I would do my exercises, just put a covering over while I did that because I knew I was going to get wet again. Now, here I am doing all my exercises and sit-ups and all this kind of stuff. I get through, and now I am hot, and I'm a little sore, so I get into the hot tub. And when I get into the hot tub, I am doing that to relieve my muscles so I don't have any soreness when I get out. However, when you're in the hot tub, you get acclimated to the heat. And what does the heat start to do? It starts to make you groggy. It starts to sap your strength. You can sit there and doze off. Some people, if they're in too long, can suffer from a stroke. So you have to be careful not to stay there too long, like sin. Now you know you have to get out, but you're groggy as all get out. You're sleepy, you're tired from all that heat. So, what does Jack LaLanne have? This is way back in the day. What does Jack LaLanne have? They have a little pool, a dipping pool, where you dip yourself. And when you dip yourself, help me, Lord, it's very uncomfortable. It's worse than getting in a swimming pool because the water is set at a cold temperature. It's not for you to stay in. It's for a dip. You dip 2 or 3 times, get your behind out, and you're good to go. And the reason for the dip, it regulates your body temperature. It starts to close your pores, everything. And then you find you're perking up and you're waking up. It shocks you. Woo! It's cold. But when you get in there, you got to go, cover. Let the water cover you totally. And then you stand up and okay, got to do it again. And you do it again. And each time you do it, it's easier. But then when you get out, you're good to go. You're not sleepy any longer. You're awake, you're revved up, you're good to go. And then you go to the shower and clean up. Now listen, this is what God showed me. When you are going through that, you're protecting yourself. It closes your pores. But it's very uncomfortable. And only the people that are willing to dip all the way, totally submerge, are the ones that are going to benefit from it. When you tiptoe around it, you put your feet in, you put your hands in, you splash yourself, but you're not really getting it all on you. You never benefit the way it's supposed to benefit you. It's like walking with God until you totally submerge to the point where it hurts, to the point where you cry, where you agonize, but you're going to do this, you do or die, but you won't go back to your old ways no matter what. That determination brings many benefits, walking with God. Because you're determined to do it His way. You're determined to baptize yourself in the ways of God and bury yourself from the past. Now, my challenge to you is when you find yourself getting skittish and you want to go back to your old ways of doing stuff, bend your knees in the spirit, I'm talking. Submerge yourself and say, nope, I don't care if I come out looking like a fool. I don't care if I lose money. I don't care if I lose my house. I don't care if I lose this, that, or the other. I'm not going to do it the world's way. I'm going to do this God's way. Are you determined enough? Now, if you believe in God, you must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. So now you got to seek Him while you're doing this. You got to seek him. You got to cry out to him. There are many ways to seek the Lord. Ask him questions. Bring your complaints, your frustrations. Pour out your heart. Don't. Ask him for direction. Ask him to cleanse you, deliver you, heal you on the inner man, heal you psychologically, heal you physically, heal you from the cuts of the past. Take all those hurts out. Remove your insecurities, remove your inhibitions, remove your frustrations, remove your whatever, just remove it. But all the time, you're steadily baptizing yourself in the ways of God on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Because you know, if you allow just a little bit of your flesh to start coming in and you get comfortable with that, you ever see the movies where the guys are in the submarines and there's a big hole in the hull and the water is rushing in and they're locking up all these compartments and one guy tries to wait for another guy to get through and they wait a little too long and the water just busts through and everybody drowns in that compartment because he didn't shut the hole soon enough. That's the way sin activates in our lives. That's the way flesh blows up in your face. Your own flesh will take you down. You don't need the devil to take you down. You got this right here. Your own flesh, your attitude, your mindset, your old ways, and those old scars that move you around like a puppet. Those scars pull your strings. Those wounds pull you. They jerk you around, baby, and you dance to the tune. Unless you are constantly baptizing yourself in the ways of God. Don't tip around that pool. Jump in. Jump in feet first, bend your head, get everything in there. Jump in head first. Whichever way you got to do it, get in. All the way. Get in Christ all the way. When I married my husband, I didn't marry him for the good times. I married all the way. And there were challenging times when he called me and needed me, but I had been working all day at the salon. And at that point, he lost his ability after 10 years to walk. He lost his ability to dress himself. So when you lose that ability, you need someone else to help you. Well, there I was. I'm his wife. And I want to help him. But there were times it was inconvenient. It was tiring. I worked all day sleeping in a deep sleep. And my husband's calling me, sucking me out of this tunnel of deep sleep because he had an accident and I have to clean him up. And I'm so groggy and so tired, but I had to clean him up. Now, so what do I have to do before I get out of that bed and get in his face? Gotta baptize myself in the ways of God. Because if I don't baptize myself, I'll verbally abuse him. And I don't want to verbally abuse him because I love him. And love will keep you baptized. It all comes together, you guys. So when I go and he sees me, my attitude is good. Because I dealt with God to deal with me before I went out there to deal with him.